This video is for all my LG lovers out there. I don't know how many of you out there are left because LG has exited the smartphone market for quite a few years now. I think maybe almost going on 5. Well, I know it's been over 4 years because I believe this phone came out in 2020. So it's been, over 4 years. So, but I know there's still LG, you know, lovers out there that still love LG products and they're still using the LG smartphones. So let's talk about the LGV60 in 2025. Now, I can't tell you if you should get it or not. I could just tell you, is it worth it? Or I could just tell you, just share with you my experiences with the device. And you got to make your own choice. Now, I've had this device now for like at least 3 years, if not 4, maybe. And now it's not in my normal rotation anymore. It's not in my rotation at all. But I still use this device as an alarm clock. And trust me when I tell you, because these speakers are so ridiculously loud, this thing wakes me up every single morning, even in the middle of the day when I'm taking a nap. But I still love this device. The build on it is solid, feels real good, nice quality. Love that color, the camera array. Always on display is nice and bright. You got that picture there. Only thing I hate is that the notifications are all the same color and they're so really small. Unfortunately, there's no face unlock, which I definitely don't like. I don't know why LG removed face unlock from this device because it was on the LG V30, which I had. Now, I don't know. I didn't have the 40 and I didn't have the 50. I didn't get either one of those devices. And I still have the LG V30. That's one of my favorite LG devices of all time. But I don't know when they got to the LG V60 why they took away face unlock. I don't get it because it does have a front-facing camera. But it does have a fingerprint sensor. And the thing that's weird about this is that they set it so low down here as opposed to right here where it should be. That was a weird decision too. But it does have animation and it does have, a little haptic feedback. Now, also something they changed, which is weird. Now, I'm not trashing this phone. I'm not. I'm just being honest with what they did. Now, instead of a quad HD display, which is what was on the V30, which was the last LG device I had before I got this one, they scaled it back to a 1080p display. Now, don't get me wrong. This 1080p display is absolutely beautiful. It is. But I can notice the difference between quad HD and 1080p. But the display is still beautiful. The biggest issue I have with this display is you should be able to see that right now. But if not, let me show you. See that right there? That's my biggest issue with this display. I hate that. I hate that. I really do. That little teardrop notch, I can't stand it. I hate it. I don't know why they did that. It makes no sense. They didn't do that with the LG Wing. I don't know why they decided to do that with the LG V60. I just don't get it. I really don't. I would have rather had a larger bezel update than to have that teardrop notch. I just think it's ugly and it just distorts the rest of this display. But the display itself is absolutely beautiful. Now, it does have thicker bezels all the way around. That don't really bother me, honestly. But that notch, that bothers me. It really does. Now, I think it could be a way to get rid of it. I think so. I'm not sure because, like I said, I don't use this on a regular anymore. But like I said, I still use it for an alarm. But I will say this is a flagship device, top tier. Let me say this also. It's IP68 water and dust resistance. It has expandable storage up to 2 terabytes. It has a headphone jack. Remember that, y'all? Remember the combination of expandable storage and a headphone jack? Remember that was a normal thing? And now you can't find it on any flagship device. Now you could actually find it on some budget devices, maybe some mid-tier devices, but on our flagship that costs over $1,000, Nobody wants to give you a headphone jack. Nobody wants to give you expandable storage anymore. And that's disappointing. That's why I believe most people are still buying older devices because they feel like they're getting more value. And I don't blame you. Okay, I don't blame you at all. Now, the thing that accompanies this headphone jack, which is what makes this device absolutely awesome, is the 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC. That thing is amazing. I'm telling you right now, if you're somebody that's heavily into audio and you care about your audio and you use really good, maybe you use expensive headphones, you get this phone, you plug those headphones in, this DAC is going to blow you away. Now, I'm not even using super expensive headphones when I plug into this, but I'm telling you right now, I get superior sound. The sound, every time I plug headphones into this, the sound just blows me away. I don't have anything else that sounds close to how good this device sounds when you plug into that DAC and you activate that hi-fi quad DAC. It's amazing. Seriously. Also, dual stereo speakers on this device that will blow your head off. I mean, these speakers are so good and they're very, very loud. Okay. Excellent sounding speakers. Now, once again, with the oh, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Yeah, and the display is 6.8 inches. And it's an OLED display. And it can get pretty bright. Now, of course, it ain't competing with the brightness of these phones today, because these phones today get ridiculously bright, but it gets bright enough for you to enjoy it. No question about that. This comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, when I'm using it just as an alarm, I usually can get, and I'm really not using it other than an alarm, it usually lasts me about 3 days. But if I'm actually going to use it like a regular phone, right now, because it's so old, it still gets me a day. Okay, not 2 days like it used to, or a day and a half, but it'll get me through a full day, no problem. Now, it does have wireless charging, not that fast. Now, the wired charging or the wireless charging is not that fast, but with the regular wired charging, you can charge this within an hour and 40 minutes, which is not horrendous, but it's extremely slow compared to other devices today. But the standby time is still good on this device as well. Now, it does come with pen support. Of course, it's not built in, but you could buy a pen and use it along with this device. You have a dedicated Google button here, which, there it is. You got that Google button right there that I never used because I actually forgot it was there, but it is there if you want to use it. You have this dual screen case, which I have right here. Last time I think I talked about this device, I forgot to pull this out. Now, the only thing I don't like about this thing, this device is going on 5 years, being old, 5 years old, and this dual screen case is still close to being $200. You might as well say 200 with tax. I don't know why this thing is still so expensive. Now, I know I didn't pay nowhere near no 200. I think I must have caught a good deal at the right time, because it was like, I don't know, 125, 120, something like that when I got it. But every time I look up the price for this thing, it's over $200. Now, I don't know why it's still so expensive. And Android 13 was the last iteration of Android for this device. But overall, I'm still saying this. Excellent build. Oh, and I'm sorry, forgot to mention the cameras. Cameras on here are very good too. Haven't used them in a really long time, but the last time I used them, and I tell you, LG has always been like my go-to phone back in the day. Like between Samsung Notes and LG devices, LG devices always, for me, have taken better photos and videos than Samsung. And it was like that for a really, really long time. And I can tell you right now, a few years back when, on quite a few occasions, me and my wife went on vacation, and I was taking the majority of all my photos and videos with my LGV30. And it was like using a professional camera. That's how great the quality was with those with those cameras. They were absolutely amazing. And remember, LG was one of the, if not the first company to use a wide angle lens on their devices. They were LG was a very innovative company. They just didn't stick with stuff. When stuff actually, they did something and it worked well, they just didn't stick with it. I don't know why. They just kept changing stuff every year and their marketing was terrible. But I will say this, when it come to video and photos. And remember, they had that manual mode. They were the first ones to come out with a manual mode when it come to videos. I mean, tell you, LG was a very innovative company, and it's a shame that they didn't market themselves better. And because Samsung always had to step up their game, because LG kept doing new things, and they always had to step up their game. But now it's just really Apple and just very little Google. Like Samsung don't do anything now. They're just basically ripping people off. That's the way I see it. But this is still a really good quality device. Like if you're looking for a device that has a very large screen, excellent build quality, IP68 water and dust resistance, always on display, in display fingerprint sensor, excellent display, excellent battery life, um, tons and tons of storage, like 2 terabytes, SD card, unlimited storage, a headphone jack with a 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC, dual stereo speakers that will blow your mind, pen support. Also, there is a Dex-like feature in here that I've never tried to use, but it is built in here somewhere. And of course, I know I'm not naming every single thing that this device can do, but I'm just naming like, the main things that, important to me. And for me, it was that display, it's the battery life and those speakers, and of course the expandable storage and the headphone jack. Those are the main things for me. And of course you got this dual case display. Now, if you don't mind paying $200 for this display, you can go ahead and purchase it. Now, and I forgot to mention, performance is still relatively good. The phone hasn't really slowed down that much. Honestly, it still runs pretty well. So as you can see, it still relatively runs pretty well. Now, of course, it's not going to be as smooth because it doesn't, you don't get any more software updates, but it's still, the performance on this device is still good. I really haven't had any issues with performance. Okay. So, but if you want to spend the money, get this case, you just put that down here. This is better than multitasking. Definitely better than multitasking because you're going to get another full display. Let's see. I don't know why it didn't come on automatically. Maybe. Okay. So you see here, I got all my dual screen stuff already set up here. So say if I press 1, here you go. So I got Instagram over here and I got Facebook over here. This is going to be the best multitasking experience you could get, other than I would say the foldables. But this is still even bigger than them. I mean, all right, let me give you an example. So you got this right here, right? And I got my Vivo X Fold. And as you can see, this is still bigger. I mean, this is an 8-inch display, but with the LGV60, it's still bigger. It's still bigger. Now, do a let me see where my all right, let me open up 2 apps at the same time. Okay. So you got this, you got your dual setup right here, but look, this is still bigger. Sorry. This is still bigger than this, and this is a big large screen, but this is still bigger. So you're gonna get you're still gonna get a better experience to some degree with the LGV60 dual case if you decide to get it, because it's so huge and it's just a full display. You can, you can swap and go back and forth and all that, but it's crazy. It's just crazy. You can be over here doing this and say you want to go on YouTube, you can open up YouTube. So you got YouTube, you got this, Facebook over here, or you can come out of that, say you want to go into, let me see something else, say Prime Video. You can do that too. You just got so many options. I know one of my favorites is if I do my what was that, my Bible app. Let me see where it is. There it is. Now it should have automatically popped up on this side. I'm not sure why it didn't. Let me see. Try that again. Yeah, I'm not sure why it didn't pop up on this end. It's supposed to. But say if I'm, looking at reading my regular scriptures, but I want to check out, a little more detail with my commentary, then I have my commentary over here and I have my regular Bible here. I really like that. I really like having, even though I don't use it hardly, because half the time because I don't use this phone like I used to, I just forget about that capability and I need to take advantage of it. What's the point of having this case if I'm really not going to use it? And it definitely comes in handy. So, of course, when you close it, you still got your clock. I wish it was just bigger, but, and this is a really, really huge case. Like, this is not something that I suggest you put in your pocket, because I mean, it's just huge, heavy, thick. It'll feel like a big, massive brick in your pocket. So I don't suggest you, using it, in your, taking it with you in your pocket. I mean, you could if you want to, but I think it's going to feel very uncomfortable. So at the end of the day, I think it's still a great buy, to check out the LGV60. And if you could get the case, if you could afford it, I suggest you get it, because I think you really would enjoy the experience, having a multitasking, but it's a full display and it's still bigger than a foldable device. It's just bigger. It's just more screen. And you're getting, like I said, once again, you're getting great cameras. You're getting great, really good battery life, a really good display. You're getting great speakers, great headphone jack with that high quad 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC, and you're getting expandable storage up to 2 terabytes. So, and you're gonna pay less than $200 for this device. So, and I would get it from Amazon, because they do give you that 90 days renewed. So if you don't like it, you can send it back within the 90 days for a full refund. But it's under $200, and I've even seen it brand new for over 300 if you want it brand new. Now, I'm not going to suggest you do that. Only if you could afford it. I would get it like for a buck, 80, buck 74, something like that. I would get it for that price, honestly. But if you want it brand new, they do have a few on there that you can get brand new, but you're going to pay close to $400 for it. All right. So is the LG V60 worth it in 2025? I'm going to say yes. And also it's going to depend on what you want to use it for. If you want to use it for gaming, or if you want to use it for certain things, that's fine too. You can use it for a secondary device. That's cool too. Whatever you think it'll be the best way to use it. Like, you may not want to use it as your daily driver, but you want it as a backup. It's a good backup to have, no doubt about it. All right. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. I hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.